I'm writing my dissertation on a street that's extended across central Paris in the 1890s, and it's the Rue Réaumur, which is really hard to pronounce, Rue Réaumur. The Rue Réaumur is a kind of concentration of a new style of architecture that's being built in some ways as a reaction to the wave of urban renewal that occurred in the 1850s and 1860s when Baron Haussmann plows these big avenues through the old medieval city and modernizes Paris. So the street that I'm working on is interesting because it's the architecture that the first generation that has to live in that forcibly modernized city, this is the architecture that they create.
You can see that the question of iron construction is a big question in the 1890s, as a moment when architects are saying, you know, what is a true modern architecture? What does it mean to build for our time?
It's really my favorite building on the street, which is built around 1900 by kind of a commercial developer. No one famous, no big name, but a guy named Germain Bousson. And he builds a building that's created for light industry. The first thing you'll notice really is that those expanses of windows inserted into an architecture that is much, much more ornamented than your average Haussmannian boulevard. That generation that grew up in the Haussmannized city says, we lost our city. Paris used to be picturesque. It used to have all these kind of different building heights and different kinds of mixes of styles. And that's one thing I often hear after a walk is just, oh, I would have walked down this street and just thought, okay, that's pretty. But now I understand why it looks like this, what was going on at the time, why this street looks slightly different than a street that was developed 30 years before. So yeah, light bulbs do go off. It reminds me of why I am doing this research, because in some ways sharing it with folks makes that knowledge live. And it's really great, actually, yeah.